Chris was able to get that qualification over Samurai, cement himself as the #2 representative coming from North America West to really show up big for the West Coast. And I'm excited to talk to Chris. I got a lot of questions.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How are you guys?
Oh, man, we're loving it. The first question I have, because this quote was my favorite thing, I think, out of the entire weekend, is your initial quote for Flaquito. So please, I need you to break down. There's the quote on the screen.
Yeah, there it is.
I still remember the Capcom Cup 2018 LCQ where Flaquito crushed my dreams and beat my Guile with Sakura. Now the roles are reversed, and I will make sure that he also fails to zone out this gorilla character. So my follow-up question to that is, after he beats you 2-0 on the first day, and you came back today, how good did it feel to just put the demon to rest? Because the way you were playing after that, I was like, man, this guy is there's so much elation. And it really reflected in your play, and I was so impressed. So how did you feel about vanquishing Flaquito and getting that salty run back?
Like, Flaquito, he's a very good friend of mine. Like,
okay, good.
So it's not like I'm out here, I hate this dude, I want to destroy him. That was not exactly my mentality going into the match. If he had beaten me, I would have been rooting him for him so hard against Samurai too. But at the end of the day, I will say when he beat me in winners, it was like, I would say it's a bit of a shock. Not that he's not a good player. I just felt pretty confident going into the match. And then going through losers, I feel like I was just building up so much momentum. Like, I know I'm a very momentum-based player. Yeah. And so when I can, I beat Matoha 3-0, then I beat Filipino Man 3-0. And so at that point, I built up so much momentum that it was just keep rolling. And when I saw I had to fight Flaquito again, I just had so much confidence. I was like, there's just no way.
He's done. He's already dead.
Yeah. Like I said, he's a great friend. I think he's a really great player. I think he's one of the most downplayed players on the West Coast. Okay. I think people don't really know about him. They probably know about him now. But yeah, he's very good. But I just felt so confident with the amount of momentum I had going into it.
Yeah. So, I mean, talking about you, going into this, we kept saying you were probably the #3 player in the West Coast and such, after Nephew and Samurai. But, obviously you've been playing fighting games for a very, very long time. And you've been slowly but surely just getting stronger and stronger. There was some point, I feel like, during the pandemic where you really just kind of cemented yourself as that person who now has the ability to win tournaments. So, one, what did it take to get to that point? And two, do you feel like this is your breakout tournament, or do you feel like your breakout tournament happened a while ago?
Yeah, so over the pandemic, I've definitely improved so much. I think I'm almost an entirely different player than the person I was before the pandemic. Like, when I watch back my match from offline, it doesn't even seem like the same player to me. I've changed so much. And when quarantine started and everything, I just told myself, okay, I'm going to enter every single online tournament I can, and I'm just going to try to improve as much as I can as long as this quarantine is happening. And huge shout outs to WNF, because when it comes to online tournaments, they are probably the biggest online tournament weekly on the West Coast. But yeah, I think the improvement I've had throughout quarantine is just, it's kind of insane. And like I said, it just came down to the very consistent practice, entering WNF every week.
Okay. I really love to hear that story, because as somebody who I ran my tournament in WNF during the entire pandemic, and obviously a regular, I got to see you rise and just be so strong. From the Seth play to the Sakura play, it's always a treat to watch you play and see you just to consistently just rock the competition. Your hit confirms. I saw the switch mid bracket. You were playing Sakura for most of it, and then you had the switch to Seth, and to Seth, not Set. And I think it was in your match against Flaquito. What was your thought process?
Wasn't it against Samurai?
Oh, it was against Samurai. Yeah, you actually
you
pulled out the Seth instead of the Sakura. What was your thought process behind that? Because I personally thought that Sakura has a pretty good matchup into Akuma, and you immediately pulled out the Seth, and it felt like you just had such a control on the tempo and the understanding of the matchup. Why Seth there?
So first of all, I do think Seth was better. I think Sakura is okay against Akuma, but I do think it's slightly losing for her. Whereas Seth, I think it's pretty close to dead even.
Okay.
And the biggest thing I thought about was okay, my Sakura right now is so warmed up. I could definitely go Sakura here. But when it comes to the matchup, obviously me and Samurai have played an absolute ton. So much. We played so much. And the matchup is always Akuma Seth. So I was like, at the end of the day, I have two options here. I could go for a surprise pick with Sakura that I haven't practiced quite as much because I'm warm with the character, or I could just believe in everything that I've practiced throughout the entire pandemic. This matchup that I practiced for hours and hours and hours and labbed so much, I know almost every intricacy about the matchup at this point. So I was like, I'm just going to trust in what I've practiced throughout with like 18 months pretty much.
That's smart.
So I just have to ask this question because like this, I like asking this question. How does it feel to hear the phrase Capcom Cup Qualifier, ChrisCCH?
UIU ChrisCCH, don't forget.
ChrisCCH. How does that make you feel right now?
I don't think I can quite process it yet because it's been a dream for, I mean, I started competing in 2017. That was the first year I really went to any CPT event. So 4 years now, that's been a dream. And for so long, it's been a dream that is basically out of reach for me. I never had like a good chance of qualifying for Capcom Cup, except, the one Capcom Cup 2018, where, we don't talk about that one. That LCQ, I might have had a chance there. Something happened that we don't talk about. Other than that,
we don't talk about it.
Too many good opportunities to actually make it in the Capcom Cup. And this year, it's such an honor to be there. And I know last year, I think pretty much everyone expected this was going to be a repeat of last year, where it's going to be Nephew and Samurai that qualified. And Nephew obviously made it in. I am going in now instead of Samurai, and I think it's kind of a tall burden to carry in a way, because I want to play in a way that will, make all of the players on the West Coast proud to see me representing them. Mm-hmm. And Samurai has all that experience and all that offline tournament experience. He has a fantastic mindset. He's taught me so much about just improving my mentality. And now I'm going to be the one that represents the West Coast along with Nephew instead of him. So it's a heavy burden to carry, but I'm very looking forward to learning a lot from both Nephew and Samurai. I do think, even though I won, I think overall those two players are better than me. And I want to learn a lot from them about competing at the highest level to get ready for Capcom Cup. And that's what's really most important to me now.
I see you going the distance. And one thing I'd like to ask is because, you said you thought it was an unattainable dream, and now your dream is a reality. Like, I know it hasn't sunk in yet, but you're going to Capcom Cup, bro. You did it. You earned it. And how would you say, because, you started somewhere, 2017. How would you try to tell the next generation or the new players, like, how do you think that they can get to that dream?
The real thing is, though, you have to keep practicing, and you have to keep trusting in your practice. You're not going to see results right away. There's probably people in your region that are stronger than you currently, and if they're good players, they're probably going to keep getting better. You might, go to your local or play in your local online tournament and feel like, I'm losing to the same players over and over again. I'm not improving, something like that. But keep in mind, everyone around you is improving. You have to just trust in the practice that you put into the game, that it is enough for you to improve. And you have to trust in your local scene as well. You gotta, believe that your scene is strong and that they can help you improve. That is a very huge thing. You cannot improve just on your own. You need to work with the people around you as well.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Capcom Cup Qualifier, ChrisCCH, on an excellent tournament played, and can't wait to see you at Capcom Cup and to see you represent the West Coast with that excellent Sakura and Seth.
Yeah.